I'm about to lose my brain stuck inside this ghetto rapture. I got a lot of smoke. If you want it, you can have it. They want a hat trick, but this is black girl magic. Ain't talking about the kind that'll make you disappear, but I'm talking about the power of the melanin within. Ain't looking for trouble, but I'ma say this one time. I put 2 dukes up if you try to touch mine. We still want justice for Samir and Trayvon. You say you don't see color, but racism ain't blind. They targeting little kids whose skin look just like mine. So I'm paranoid, it's a war zone outside. And I'm a black queen, so if you ask me to step out of my car, you gon' have to snatch me. Cause I ain't going no damn well. Had to spend my whole life living unfair. Ancestors got my back and they right here. You can never understand, it's a nightmare. Living in my black shoes by the black rules. You can keep your handshake, I don't dap coons. The white man to go nuts if he cash you. But you all on his side like a damn fool. Make it make sense.
We are oppressed.
Queen.
We are exploited. We are downtrodden.
Make it make sense.
We are denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
Ahmadiyyah.
So the only way we're going to get some of this
Ahmadiyyah.
oppression and exploitation
Queen.
away from us or aside from us is come together
Queen.
against the common enemy. Who taught you to hate the texture of your
Ahmadiyyah.
hair? Who taught you to hate the color of your skin?
Ahmadiyyah.
Parents, pay attention to the books, the school system, even to your little children. Lies mixed with wisdom. His skin too bright, so he was blind to the prison. My skin just right, so I collide with division. You trying to pray to God, but we tired of religion. No savior saving, we got to save our savings. We used to pay miss, how we gon' make the slave rich? But who's to blame, and tell me why you complaining? We need a team effort just to rule the nation. Like a bad relationship, missing communication. We missing moderation. They're trying to get a poison to my population. No reparations. I'm getting tired of Satan.
We are oppressed.
Queen.
I'm getting tired of waiting.
We are downtrodden.
Queen.
We are denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
Ahmadiyyah.
So the only way we're going to get some of this
Ahmadiyyah.
oppression and exploitation.
Queen.
Touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen. Why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunsa. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations. America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now. See a bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all in Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy. I just sit back and laugh while these haters get madder. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets. We only facing the threat.
This is the sound of every Malcolm.
It's the cut on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets. We only facing the threat. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat.
I'm not going to call P. Diddy a bitch. 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 P. Diddy a bitch.
Sean Combs is a bitch. Yeah. Sean Combs is a bitch. They bitches too. Sean Combs is a bitch. Yeah. Sean Combs is a bitch. Yeah.
You don't hit women when you're a man. You don't hit women when you're a man. P. Diddy a bitch. 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 P. Diddy a bitch.
Sean Combs is a bitch. Yeah.
I'm not going to call P. Diddy a bitch or any other name like that. But I ain't gonna stop anybody else from doing it. I'm not gonna malign them. P. Diddy a bitch. 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 P. Diddy.
Okay, it gets me every time. Okay. Hello, everyone. Grand Rising. Thanks for tuning back in once again to the original Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur show. I'm your host, Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur, and this is your morning wake up call. So, as you're coming in, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe to the channel. If you haven't done so already, be sure to click that notification bell and click the word all so you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. All right, so let's get into it. Lights up, everyone, please like and share. With that all being said, I'm not going to call P. Diddy a biatch. Okay, I'm not going to call him that. Now, listen, don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Dr_A_Shakur, TikTok at Dr. A. Shakur, and Twitter at DGoddess27. And also, as per usual, if you don't like what the Queen is cooking, you already know what to do. Okay, and no time for trolls today, because if there's any trolls, my moderators or myself are going to kindly remove you from the chats. Okay? All right. So with that all been said, and I'm going to be talking about Kamala today. So if support the arts is in here, I don't want anyone going in on support the arts because they choose to support Kamala. All right. So let's get into it. All right. Hello, Claudette. Said Queen, that blue is popping on you. Thank you, beloved. About damn time is in the house. Nessie X. It's Bree to you. All right. Buckhorse DC. Deanna is here. 504 Nola. Sandra. All hell nah is in the house. All right. Jeff ATL. I see you. Shout out to everyone in chat and everyone tuned into the Queen. And shout out to my moderators putting in work. Okay. So let's get this party started. Techno Hippie is in the house. Bofana Juba. I love that name. Bofana Juba. Okay, so now with that all being said, hey, Locked Queen Candy J. Okay, Pamela is here. Listen, we're going to be on the spiritual channel this evening at 6 o'clock. You don't want to miss it. Okay, hey, Lewis Kendrick said the Queen is Queen, and thank you. I see you, Stacy Quentin. Now, before I get started, let's have a word from my sponsor at 12 Tribes. Okay, please like and share. It doesn't cost you anything.
Do not buy 12 Tribes on Earth hair growth oil and hair magic elixir unless you want super healthy, gorgeous hair that grows. They have a whole line of amazing hair growth products, including hair growth leave-in conditioner spray, hair growth shampoo, hair growth spray, and hair growth butter. I'm starting to sense a theme here. They include quality natural ingredients. They smell amazing, and you can see the results for yourself. So if you're looking for healthy hair growth for your natural or relaxed hair, try 12 Tribes on Earth today.
All right, so you can purchase your 12 Tribes hair oil at Etsy.com. Just look for Lisa Crafts, and also you can purchase it at Walmart.com. Okay, so now let's get into it. A lot of things to report today, all right? So I'm going to be moving straight through. Now, first things first, let's talk about Diddy and this nefarious egg test. Now, you all remember, I believe I showed you this video about Suge Knight talking about the egg test that you stick up your butt and all that. I think it's when Gavin was on the show. Not sure. TC Dan says, if you don't like what the queen is cooking, you can cook at home. Shout out to the Royal Chat and let's have a great week. Thank you, Dan, beloved, for your inspirational words, okay? And for letting all the haters know what they can do. All right. And also thanks for the contribution to the channel, beloved. Peace, love, and blessings to you. Okay. So now that all been said, I showed you all played the video of Suge Knight talking about that egg test and all that. Well, it looks like Diddy absolutely does the egg test. So let's get into it. Now, just to remind you, and for those of you who may have missed it, I'm going to play. I didn't feel like going through my timestamp, searching through that 2-hour video to find the timestamp. So we're going to go with Godfrey's video about the egg test. And then we'll get into Diddy and Russell Brand and what they had going on. It's all nefarious.
Suge Knight video, right? With Chris Cuomo. He had a phone call with Suge Knight. Now we all know who Suge Knight is. Huh? Death Row. Tupac, Biggie, the whole nine. Yeah. And Suge Knight, everybody used to be afraid of Suge Knight, remember? Suge Knight scared the shit out of people. I've seen Suge Knight in person. And I used to be like, I thought I owed him my masters. And I wasn't an artist, you know? Shit. I was like, here, you can take my jokes. Shit, I don't need them. Yeah, Suge Knight was talking about there's this, I guess, an egg test where they take a raw egg and shove it up people's asses. And if your egg breaks, that means you're not ready yet or some shit.
They have those guys pull their pants down and bend over and they stick it up their ass. The eggs break, they say they're not ready yet.
And Chris Cuomo was like, whoa, 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 whoa. Nah, no one's ever heard of that.
I have never heard of anything like that.
If I haven't heard of it, I go, but Chris Cuomo, you ain't Suge Knight. I'm sure you guys saw this.
Okay, so y'all heard that. Suge Knight said it wasn't a raw egg, it was a boiled egg. I believe it was supposed to be boiled because Suge Knight wasn't really clear. He said a raw boiled egg, I do believe. So there's no such thing as a raw boiled egg. But we know what Suge Knight was talking about, sticking an egg up your arse to see if you're ready. And so it looks like that's exactly what Diddy's been doing with Russell Brand. Now, this is all alleged, and I cannot substantiate the claims that Diddy actually put an egg anywhere near Russell Brand's rear end. But I just have a whole lot of questions as to why Diddy and Russell Brand took a picture with Russell holding an egg. Just a random egg. I'm sorry. Say what? What in the world's going on here, Russell Brand? I have several questions, beloved. Okay? What's really going on here? And I happen to like Russell Brand. Okay? And so what is really going on here? But so anyway, now let's talk about what Russell had to say about Diddy. Listening to what he had to say about Diddy made me even further think that Diddy gave him the egg test. But what do I know? Let us continue. Now I'm going to put my overlay on here so I don't have any issues with ScrewTube. Please pay attention.
Right, what you've got to do is express what it would be like to have sex with all of these different people. It made me feel good.
I gotta be a rock star, man.
There's certain benefits to it.
So, all right. So, how was it working with Diddy and Jonah? Actually,
Jonah, he's hilariously funny. I know him already, so it's a buzz to work with him. Diddy's new to me, right? He looked after me. He took me on an enforced holiday to Vegas. He's a very intense man because I think he come from nothing and now he's very, very powerful. People that do stuff like that, they're intense.
Now I want you all to pay attention. He said Diddy looks out for him and Diddy took him on an enforced trip to Vegas. What does he mean enforced? Is he saying that Diddy made him go? I have questions.
Now, I like him. He's very influential. Say that you don't want to do something and Diddy does want you to do it. It's really hard to not do that thing.
Is it the mind fucking or?
He's a bit like the mind fucking. Like he's very influential. Like say Diddy went, could you pick me up from the airport? I've got back from holiday, or I'm going away. Would you feed my fish? And really didn't want to feed his fish. Oh, how much fish food you put in? He'd still do it because you think, oh, don't upset him. He's an influential person.
I got it.
So his laugh, he's a good laugh, but if you imagine you get very friendly with him, he might ask you for loads of favours, and then you can't say no to him. That's my worry, because I've become friends with him now. What if he starts, picks up from the airport, feed the fish, can I borrow your vacuum cleaner? It's going to be pressure.
It's going to kind of become his bitch.
I don't want to be nobody's bitch. I've worked too hard in life. Not even Diddy's bitch.
I have several questions, Russell. Notice how he said that Diddy doesn't take no for an answer. Okay, so if Diddy told him to stick that egg up the rump, he likely did it, just my opinion. But Russell, you said that yourself, that you can't say no to Diddy, okay? Now, don't pay me any attention because I don't know if that man stuck that egg up there or not, but I just find it interesting that he was actually holding an egg and in a picture with Diddy. Okay, that's clearly nefarious, all right, if I may say so myself. Now, here's another thing. Now, I've shown you all this video before, but let's go back to it because this is the video of Kevin Hart at Diddy's house for a party when, in fact, the girl's hair caught on fire. Now, you all remember this, but I just want you all to pay attention to what we probably weren't really paying attention to because we were so busy looking at the hair up in flames. Likes up, everyone.
I'm used to this type of thing. Doing what I do best. Get the camera off! We had to.
Okay, so I cut the music out, cut the volume out because it had music playing. But here's the thing I want you to pay attention. Now, in that video clip, Kevin Hart and Trey Songz, who we've heard nefarious things about, both of them really, but they're in what looks to be the bathroom because that was a tub. Okay, so why are all these people in the bathroom sitting around the tub and they have all these candles lit and it's dark? Now, I'm just bringing this up because it reminds me of what Cassie said. In her lawsuit, she talked about Diddy preparing for the freak-offs, how they light candles and they get the room all made up and everything. And I'm just wondering if that's what they were all about to do. I just have several questions. Okay, but anyway, let's continue. Likes up, everyone, please. Like and share. Thank you in advance. So Diddy will never stop being nefarious. And the people that hang out with him, they'll remain questionable until further notice, as far as I'm concerned. And did you all know, another thing is, Obama was actually at a Diddy party also. I don't know if he's at an FO. Hold on, let me see if there's any music. Hold on. Okay, so I want you all to hear this, okay? I'm about to play this. Claudette said there's no sound. No, there wasn't. I turned it off because I was talking to myself while I was trying to fix something. Okay, so listen. So Diddy is having a birthday party and he shouts out Obama and says Obama's there. Okay, now I'm not saying Obama went to any of those freak offs, but clearly he was hanging out with Diddy. And I've told you all that before because I've shown you the pictures. So let's get into it.
We got the first black president in this mother. Black president in this mother.
Emerge un'altra inquietante foto.
Okay, can you guys hear me? Hold on just a second. I don't know what's going on here. Hold on for just a second, beloveds. Okay, there I go. I don't know what was going on right then. I don't know what happened. So you heard him basically shout out Obama. Okay, so I find that all very interesting. Obama, what are you doing hanging out with Diddy? But now, like I told you guys, everybody's quiet. And who all is on those videotapes? Is Obama on there? Because we already know, thanks to Larry Sinclair and the former choir director, who are both now deceased, mind you, said some things about Obama being zesty. Now, of course, I can't substantiate any of it, but I just find it all very interesting. That's all I'm saying. Okay. So anyway, let's continue. Now, Diddy's attorney came out and spoke about his mindset, Mark Agnifilo, because you know they've been talking about the watch that Diddy was on. Then we find out that was just regular protocol. And then, you know, the food saying Diddy wouldn't eat and all of that. Well, his lawyer says he's eating quite healthy. Now, they say it's no secret that Diddy has a long road ahead of him, as he's currently facing several charges related to alleged sex trafficking and racketeering. The Bad Boy founder was arrested earlier this month. Now, reportedly, he could be hit with a lengthy prison sentence if convicted. According to his attorney, Mark Agnifilo, however, he hasn't let that shake his confidence. During his appearance on the new TMZ documentary titled The Downfall of Diddy, The Indictments, Agnifilo gave an update on how his client is doing following his arrest. He said his state of mind is actually remarkably positive. His resolve is strong. He's engaged. He's focused on his defense, and he comes to terms with the fact that this is where he is for now. Okay, Agnifilo continued saying that speculating that concentrating on his defense is giving Diddy the strength that he needs to carry him through this difficult time. Now, while the mogul appears to be doing well despite the circumstances, his legal issues are still mounting. Last week, for example, he was hit with his 12th lawsuit in the past 11 months. An anonymous woman accuses him of assault, drugging, and threatening her. She allegedly also alleges that she was impregnated by Diddy. And then don't forget how she said that Young Miami was harassing her. Okay, and trying to force her to get an abortion. Now, here's the thing. Young Miami may not be able to be considered a co-conspirator or a co-defendant in Diddy's crimes or what have you, even though she's named in a couple of the lawsuits at least. But the bottom line is Young Miami came out and tried to do that damage control, and she had Saucy Santana on there, and she took time out of her day to try to salvage what's left of her career. Okay, it doesn't look like it's really going to work because she has aligned herself with Diddy and his nefariousness. And not only that, she actually engaged in the nefariousness with him. Now, why do you say that, Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur? Well, for one, I'm so glad you asked, because you see, Rodney Jones, aka Lil Rod, said in his lawsuit that Miami was present, Young Miami was present when her cousin assaulted Rodney Jones. Okay, and that doesn't look good for her. Okay, even if she's not the one doing it, she's sitting right there and likely thought it was funny and cute. And then also the fact that she was on the yacht when Christian King Combs is accused to have assaulted Grace O'Marcaigh. And then she's mentioned in this new lawsuit where this woman said that she was harassing her. So this just, and then let's not forget how she was going in on Gina Hume and talking about Diddy would have put her on her knees. So that just alludes to the fact that she knew about the nefarious things that Diddy was doing, that she had knowledge of the things he was doing, and she obviously condoned it. If she's sitting there telling another woman that Diddy would have put her on her knees. Okay, so that all been said. Yeah, her career's not going anywhere at the end of the day. At least I don't think so, because she's getting a whole lot of backlash right now, and people are dragging her for her ties to Diddy. Okay, and let's not forget how she said that they were in love. Okay, I find that interesting because it looked to me like Diddy didn't want to claim her when he was on her show during that interview. But anyway, let's continue. Okay, and meanwhile, attorney from Houston, Tony Busby, has these 50 people, and he's supposed to be filing against Diddy class action sometime this week, which I'll be waiting to report on that.
And welcome back to The Factor Uncensored, a Factor exclusive tonight. Famed Houston attorney Tony Busby is taking on Sean P. Diddy Combs. Today, Busby confirmed to me he has been retained by at least, get this, 55 people who are suing the hip-hop mogul. Busby says those cases vary from sex assault to sexual abuse and trafficking. They're expected to be filed in about a week or so in court. Busby also expects a number of plaintiffs to continue to rise, but he did not indicate to me where all of the alleged victims are located. These cases are all civil cases and not criminal. Busby says he will make a public statement on Friday.
I was surprised, but now I'm going to feign that I'm not.
Now, with that all being said, the lawsuits are still coming. They're still piling up, okay? They're getting stacked pretty high at this point. But meanwhile, Kendra Wilkinson, now you all remember the former Playboy Bunny and the star of Girls Next Door, Hugh Hefner's boo thing, okay? She came out to clarify what she said because remember, she initially said, she initially had said something about going to Diddy's parties and it was nothing different than what she saw at the Playboy Mansion. Okay, so let's get into that. Likes up, everyone. Please like and share because now she's come out and tried to clarify her comments. Okay, here we go. Likes up, everyone. I'm going to share my screen.
Too, but like again, like I had a great time in my youth. Like I don't really see anything, like I never saw anything really bad happening around me. Sex is sex in my opinion. So I'm not saying that you know, something bad didn't happen. I'm saying that nothing bad ever happened to me.
And that you never saw anything out of the ordinary that you wouldn't usually see at a big Hollywood party, you know?
Yeah.
It's sexualized.
Look, you're going to the Playboy Mansion. What do you there's girls topless in the grotto.
He went after, he did a joke about Kim Kardashian, who was there, who I thought was kind of off limits.
Okay, so with that all being said, now this is what she has to say after those comments. Kendra Wilkinson walked back on her comments about having fun at Sean Diddy's house, okay, and at his parties. Now, on Saturday, the former Playboy Bunny took to Instagram threads to clarify that she was talking about the parties that occurred when she lived with the late Hugh Hefner at the Playboy Mansion during their conversation about wild bashes on the Kylie and Jackie show. She said, sorry, guys, I was just answering, I was just answering questions about Playboy Mansion parties, and it all combined with Diddy party talk. Girl, please don't try it because you clearly said that you went to 1 or 2 Diddy parties. So the 39-year-old ex of Hugh Hefner continued to say, I've only been to a few parties with Diddy there back in the day. I didn't have time to think about the right answer regarding those horrible charges. Those charges or allegations. I pray for the victims and justice. Now, Wilkinson's remarks come days after she raved about how much fun she had at Diddy's parties and his get-togethers. She says, I remember just going like to 1 or 2. Okay, but like again, I had a great time in my youth. Well, you all heard what she said. Bottom line is now she's trying to walk it back and act like she didn't have so much fun, like she really wasn't talking about Diddy's parties, like she was really only basically talking about the parties that Hugh Hefner had at the Playboy Mansion. But, that brought me back to something. Do you all remember, because now that we're talking about the Playboy Mansion and parties, do you all remember when I did that video about the hold on, let me see if this is it. Yeah, here we go. When I did the video about the psychic medium saying that Diddy had tunnels under his home that connected to the Playboy Mansion. You all remember that? And then I showed you all the blueprints. Hold on, I'm trying to find the timestamp real quick. Okay, so here we go. Now let's just revisit that because I'm sure it was a whole lot of shenanigans going on at those parties. All right? Equally, like she said in the beginning, as it was at the Playboy Mansion.
Playboy published vintage photos of an excavation project along with a blueprint showing a series of tunnels. Honey, not one. Please pay attention and listen up. A series of tunnels connecting the infamous residence to various celebrity homes in the surrounding area. That's why Diddy wanted that house. Let me tell y'all something. Let me tell you something. That's why Diddy purchased that mansion so quick. They barely could finish the construction before he snatched it up off the market. Y'all heard what it said. That's why he wanted it, I guarantee you. Now, according to the article, when asked about the photos of the construction site, the new Playboy Mansion general manager said that's probably when they built the tunnels in the 70s. See that answer right there? That was a deflection because nobody asked him when the tunnels were built. They asked him why the tunnels were built. Please pay attention, okay? Clearly trying to deflect. And here's the second part. Now look at this. Now look at this. Let me enhance this. Because what's really going on here? What's really going on here? Look at this. You see how it goes from this house to that house? Okay. It's all nefarious. Oh, hold on. I got a video to show you all too. Hold on. I got another video. I almost forgot. Hold on. I be having so many receipts, I can't keep track. Pay attention. Now, a closer look at the blueprint shows there were plans to dig tunnels to the homes of Mr. Jack Nicholson, Mr. Warren Beatty, Mr. K. Douglas, and Mr. James Caan. Let me stop the share for a moment. Then I'm going to show you all another blueprint. A closer look at the blueprint shows there were plans for all of this. We'll go ahead and assume they're talking about Jack Nicholson, Warren Beatty, Kirk Douglas, and James Caan, all of whom lived near the Playboy Mansion during the late 70s and early 80s. Now, according to the article, the partial tunnels were closed in 1989 when Hugh Hefner married then Playmate Kimberly Conrad. Playboy reached out to the publicity representatives for Nicholson, Caan, Douglas, and Beatty and has yet to receive a comment. Now, why did they have any comments? Because they were going to ask them were those tunnels really closed. Do you all think that they actually closed those tunnels? Now, here's the next picture. Let me show you all this. This is all crazy. I want you all to pay attention to the nefariousness of it all. But people still trying to make excuses and cape for Diddy. This man had a house with tunnels leading to other houses and all that. Come on now, allegedly. This is all alleged. Pay attention. Northbound tunnel to Mr. J. Nicholson's residence. Look at that. And then it says clearance may var further. I can't see all that because it's got that red thing in the middle, but it looks like it says clearance may var further information required. He looks like he's pressed and stressed. I don't know. I haven't heard this yet, but let's see what he says.
Warren, so many things have been written about you. So many facts, interesting facts that we don't examine have been thrown out. So I know you don't like talking about this. You don't like. So I'm just going to read them out, and we'll just try and read your expression to see if you're confirming or denying them.
It's a fun game.
It's sort of a psychic sound. I mean, if you want, no, feel free.
Feel free.
If you want to confirm or deny them, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. You used to wash your hair every day with a 6-pack of beer. He's denying that. Okay.
That was my one. Yeah, I did that all the time.
Like you only need no one has that much hair. Like, one can, do you? A 6-pack seems excessive.
Yeah.
You and Jack Nicholson had your own secret passageway into the Playboy Mansion.
No.
Is that true?
Well, I think the story was printed that there was a tunnel going from Jack's house, which is near my house, all the way over to Hefner's house, which would probably have cost in the neighborhood of $1 billion. So, no, that is not true.
Okay.
Was it worth it?
Okay, so you all heard that. He was sitting up there lying. Now, he said that it wasn't true. And it did take him a long time to answer DSB. But here's the thing. That's because he was lying. And then pay attention. I told you in that video that he said that it would have cost $1 billion. Honey, the mansion didn't cost $1 billion. So why with the tunnels? He was clearly lying. And you know he was lying because I showed you the blueprints to the tunnels. And also they came out tried to say that that was not true. You know, they tried to fact check it and debunk it or whatever. But there's the blueprints right there. There are the blueprints right there. And here's the thing. If it were not true, why were they even saying that since the 70s? Okay, the man just asked him about it. He was clearly lying. And the reason I point out James Caan specifically, because James Caan, I do believe they reported that Diddy bought his mansion. Okay, so clearly Diddy had tunnels under those mansions. All right, at the end of the day. So likes up, everyone, please like and share. With that all being said, point proven. Okay, so now let's continue. Let's talk about Kabami. Let's talk about Kabami because Trump had the nerve to call Kabami mentally impaired. Okay. Wait a minute. And then says Trump calls for Harris to be impeached and prosecuted at a Pennsylvania rally. This is all crazy. Now, this just came out today. Hold on. Let me just share my screen so you all can see the foolishness of it all. Trump just won't quit. He needs to stick to the darn facts and policy and stop trying to go in on Kabami. And who is he to call anybody, challenge anybody's mental state? Okay, please pay attention.
What Kamala has done with illegal migrants is the biggest crime story of our time because hundreds of thousands of people are going to be victims very shortly. It's happening. We had many of them yesterday. We had this incredible event. We had many of the parents of victims at the event. We had one or two that spoke. I mean, it's impossible almost for them. Their lives are destroyed, just so you understand. Their daughters were killed. Their lives are destroyed. Their sons are killed. And they were killed by migrants that came in illegally that were so vicious, like you've never seen before. Already hundreds of people have been murdered because of her action at the border, and thousands more will follow in rapid succession. She should be impeached and prosecuted for her actions.
Trump says she should be impeached and prosecuted. Now he knows he needs to sit down somewhere. Now, mind you, there are a lot of crimes going on, according to reports, due to these migrants. But I just find it all interesting. But so we'll get into it. Hold on. Now let me pull up when he said that Kabami, when he said that she was mentally impaired. This is all so crazy. Hold on. I'm gonna let the music, fast forward to after the music. Hold on. Okay, here we go. If Trump's nothing else, he's good for a laugh because he's ridiculous. He is so ridiculously nefarious. Okay, at the end of the day, he's his own worst enemy. Does he not realize it?
Became mentally impaired, sad. But Lion Kamala Harris, honestly, I believe she was born that way. There's something wrong with Kamala. And I just don't know what it is, but there is definitely something missing. And you know what? Everybody knows it. She should be impeached and prosecuted for her actions.
Now he said, and everybody knows it. I don't know that she's mentally impaired, Trump. He's so ridiculous. He is so ridiculous. Why does he even say these foolish things? I just find it all nefarious. I mean, I don't like Kabami. It's true. And I don't agree that she's black. It's true. But I don't agree that the woman has mental health problems. Now, he said crooked Joe Biden is mentally impaired, but I believe Kamala was born that way. Oh, so crazy. But anyway, let's continue. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance.
Kamala Harris rolling out new economic policy proposals yesterday during a speech in Pittsburgh. Kamala vowed to focus on opportunities for the middle class, pledging $100 billion in tax credits to boost manufacturing in the U.S. Harris also taking a swipe at former President Trump and his plans to shore up American manufacturing. Watch this.
My opponent, Donald Trump, well, he makes big promises on manufacturing. Just yesterday, he went out and promised to bring back manufacturing jobs. On Trump's watch, offshoring went up and manufacturing jobs went down across our country and across our economy. All told, almost 200,000 manufacturing jobs were lost during his presidency, starting before the pandemic hit, making Trump one of the biggest losers ever on manufacturing.
She talks a lot about Trump, not a lot about her own policies. Trump hitting back at Harris while in North Carolina yesterday for waiting to impose her economic policies. Watch.
Kamala Harris is supposedly announcing her so-called plans to support manufacturing and wealth creation. Why didn't she do it 3.5 years ago? They've done nothing. Why didn't she do everything 3.5 years ago? She's been there for almost 4 years, and she didn't do it. She didn't create wealth. She destroyed 22% of the value of every dollar in your pocket and jeopardized us in front of the remaining portions of the marketplace. And the world's reserve currency is under siege right now.
Joining me now in a Fox Business exclusive is the chairman and CEO of Cantor Fitzgerald and BGC Group, Howard Lutnick, back with us, is also the chairman of Newmark Group and a Trump 2025 transition team co-chairman. Howard, great to see you.
Great to see you.
Thank you so much for joining us. I want to talk about the Trump and Kamala Harris's plans, but first, you've got breaking news. BGC Group launched its FMX futures exchange earlier this week. Congratulations on that.
So it's so exciting. I mean, you know, BGC is the exchange for everything in the world that doesn't trade on an exchange.
It's exciting. Well, I want to ask you about the regulatory backdrop for this and what you believe should be the right regulation for this, because TD Cowen today's out with a...
There's a discussion. Right. And that's the point. It goes right to the core of fundamental understanding of business, right? So Donald Trump walks in the door from the Obama administration, right? And you blame him for the first days that he's in office. There's nothing he can do. He drives down the corporate tax in order to finally bring manufacturing back to America. So finally people can bring their money back, right? You remember during COVID, the key save of America for COVID was that Donald Trump lowered the corporate tax rate. So all the foreign companies, or all the American companies who made money overseas, who left it overseas because they didn't want to pay tax, could now bring it back.
Right.
And they brought back trillions.
Yeah.
And that was amazing for America.
Yeah. I mean, let me just finish this conversation on regulation and your new exchange. Do you expect similar regulations for commodities and other things that are traded on your new exchange as we see for equities?
I think it's going to go a little slower.
Okay.
But eventually, commodities and equities will kind of sort of merge over a long period of time, over maybe 20 years. I mean,
Okay, so now what do you all think? Do you all agree with Kamala that Trump did so bad and all of that? Because like the man said, there was a whole lot going on when he first got into office, right? And so at the end of the day, Trump and Kamala, in my opinion, both need to stop talking about each other, focusing on each other, and just do what they need to do to get their points across otherwise, okay? Because really, I've told you all weeks ago that I've been tired of it. Now, pay attention to this, because they say that Trump falsely claimed that he attacked Harris and falsely claimed new stats on immigrants and homicides. Now, they go on to say the former President Donald Trump is wildly distorting new statistics on immigration and crime to attack Vice President Kamala Harris. Trump falsely claimed on Friday and Saturday that the statistics are specifically about criminal offenders who entered the U.S. during the Biden-Harris administration. In reality, the figures are about offenders who enter the U.S. over multiple decades, now including during the Trump administration. Okay, and Trump falsely claimed that the statistics are specifically about people who are now living in the United States. The figure actually includes people who are currently in jails and prisons serving criminal sentencing. Trump said Kamala should immediately cancel her news conference because it was just revealed about 13,000 convicted murderers entered our country during her 3.5-year period as border czar. Okay, he went on to say, and he wrote this on Friday on a post on social media. Okay, and so the day Harris visited the southern border in Arizona, that's when he wrote all this. Now, Harris allowed almost 14,000 murderers to freely and openly roam our country, he says. Okay, It says 14,000 nearly. They roam free to kill again, escalating his rhetoric on Saturday. Now, this is the facts, they say. Trump's claims are false in two big ways. The statistics he's referring to are not specifically about people who entered the country during Biden and Harris's time. So a spokesperson for the Department of Homeland Security, which oversees ICE, said in a Saturday email that the data in this letter is being misinterpreted. The data goes back decades. It includes individuals who entered the country over the past 40 years or more. The vast majority of those who are in custody or whose custody determination was made long before this administration, okay? It also includes many who are under the jurisdiction or currently incarcerated by federal, state, or local law enforcement partners. It's not clear how many of the 13,099 people with homicide convictions on ICE's now detained docket as of July the 21st are currently incarcerated in jails or prisons. But regardless, John Sandweg, an attorney who served as acting director of ICE during the Obama administration, said on Saturday during an interview that it is 100% false to say all the homicide offenders on the non-detained docket entered the U.S. during Kamala Harris's vice presidency. Okay, these are individuals who undoubtedly entered the United States over a long period of time. A lot of them have probably been on the list for 20 years. Okay, so they're saying that Trump is exaggerating, that he's not telling the truth, he's giving misinformation, and quite frankly, lying. That's what they say. Now, but 13,000 murderers, and they said this is over a 20-year period. You know, something about that just doesn't ring true to me. Something about that just doesn't ring true to me that it's been over a period of 20 years. Now, I'm not saying all 13,000 of these people came during Kamala's time in office as VP, but I also don't think that it's over a 20-year span. I just don't believe that. I think they're lying. Okay, I think they're absolutely lying. And here's what they say on NBC News. More than 13,000 immigrants convicted of homicide are living outside immigration detention in the U.S., according to ICE. Two law enforcement officials said many of those immigrants crossed into the U.S. under previous administrations, and that the total number includes people serving prison sentences. So they say the same thing. Now, here is a video of Kabami, her first trip to the U.S. southern border in 3 years. You see, here's the thing. I want you all to pay attention, because what it seems to me is that they try to not give Kamala the culpability that she deserves. Now, we know that she wasn't keeping track of the border. We know she wasn't doing anything about illegal migrants coming here, her nor Biden. Okay. And so even if all 13,000 of these people did come during their administration, at the end of the day, there are some killers who absolutely came during their administration. Okay. And they've done nothing about it. Quite frankly, they've allowed these people to come and given them benefits, housing, food stamps, jobs, you name it, they've given it to them. So I still have a problem. Please pay attention.
Tonight, Vice President Harris landing in Arizona for her first trip to the southern border in 3 years, but also facing new criticism from former President Trump after the Immigration and Customs Enforcement Director sent a letter to lawmakers revealing more than 13,000 migrants previously convicted of homicide are currently free inside the U.S.
What they've done to our country with this is inexcusable.
A source familiar with the data tells NBC News many entered the country prior to the Biden administration and that ICE lacks resources to find them. All of it after Trump earlier today met with Ukrainian President Zelensky.
Great honor to have you with us. Thank you very much.
Thanks so much.
Trump calling it a great meeting.
We also have a very good relationship, as you know, with President Putin. I think that we can work out something that's good for both sides.
Meanwhile, here in rural Cochise County, Arizona, a senior campaign official says Harris will propose tighter asylum restrictions than President Biden. There's been a record 10 million illegal border crossings since Harris and President Biden took office.
We must reform our immigration system to ensure that it works in an orderly way, that it is humane, and that it makes our country stronger.
Still, crossings have dropped dramatically in recent months, and Harris is slamming Trump for killing a bipartisan border bill earlier this year. How frustrating was that for you?
Absolutely frustrating.
Harris supporter and former sheriff's deputy Danya Acosta voted for Trump in 2016, but now says he's relying on fear.
That's really sad that people are being used as pawns for political reasons.
This has been in your family for more than 100 years. 128. Though rancher John Ladd says the Biden-Harris administration should never have ended Trump's restrictive border policies.
And Trump had it figured out.
Ladd took us to a border fence constructed during the Trump administration, showing us where smugglers have cut it repeatedly. He's skeptical of Harris's promise to secure the border.
That's baloney. That's an absolute lie. She doesn't care about the border.
While Harris is trailing Trump on immigration, she's polling better on the issue than President Biden. And her campaign believes a trip like this to a swing state like Arizona could be crucial.
Okay, like I said, I don't believe she's going to do anything about the border crisis. I just don't believe it at the end of the day. And maybe Trump is embellishing a bit, but I really don't think she's going to do anything. Okay, please pay attention. Now, opinion polls. Harris is wrong about Project 2025. Our plan is good for America. I don't know about that, but here's what they say. Vice President Kamala Harris in recent months has spent considerable time and energy attacking Project 2025, the conservative movement's plan to curtail the administrative state and put Washington back into the hands of the American people. Now, when asked about the second assassination attempt on former President Donald Trump in a recent interview, the vice president even responded by describing our work as a threat to the safety of Americans. So, what's she talking about? Our work is a threat to the safety of Americans. Okay, so hold on. Let's go to the clip. Let's see what Kabami's talking about here. Lights up, everyone, please. Like and share.
Do you have full confidence in the Secret Service to
I do.
protect all of you?
I do.
You feel safe, you and your family?
I do. But I mean, you can go back to Ohio. Not everybody has Secret Service. And there are far too many people in our country right now who are not feeling safe. I mean, I look at Project 2025 and I look at, like the Don't Say Gay laws coming out of Florida. Members of the LGBTQ community don't feel safe right now. Immigrants or people with an immigrant background don't feel safe right now. Women don't feel safe right now. And so, yes, I feel safe. I have Secret Service protection, but that doesn't change my perspective on the importance of fighting for the safety of everybody in our country.
Do you have full confidence in the Secret Service?
Okay, so I want you all to pay attention because what she did right there, she seems insensitive, says about damn time. Yeah, she was. Dan said that was clever. Claudette said, what about the safety of Black people? Thank you. I'm so glad you said it. Okay. Now that bitch, this is why I don't like her. Now, when they asked her about the Secret Service, they were clearly asking her that because Trump had 2 assassination attempts. But she said all these other people, LGBTQ, immigrants, and all of that, Americans don't feel safe. She didn't say anything about Black people, but y'all Black people, those of you who just love her so hard, do y'all think she really gives a damn if we're safe or not? She doesn't. If she did, she would have mentioned you, but she didn't. She never specifically mentions Black people unless she's talking about herself being Black and cooking collard greens in a bathtub or washing them in a bathtub. Okay, Negroes official said her tone is weird. Exactly. Leon said, what about Black people? Exactly. Okay, D-Man said she will never mention us. Exactly. Okay, Dan said that was clever. I didn't find anything clever about it. To me, it was the same thing she always does, gaslights. She always gaslights, okay? That's what that was. That's what that was. And she really didn't give a darn about them trying to assassinate Trump. That's what she was also saying. Well, Trump's not the only one that's unsafe. Everybody's unsafe. The immigrants, these LGBTQ people, that's what she was basically saying. Okay? And I'm not saying that she has to or even should be concerned about Trump. But what she did was she brought up Project 2025, which had absolutely nothing to do with the conversation because she wanted to just basically be like, in my opinion, it sounded like she was basically saying F Trump. Who cares if he almost got assassinated? He doesn't need protection. And what about Project 2025? He's making other people feel unsafe. That's what it sounded like to me. That's what it sounded like to me. Dan says it was a clever deflection. I mean, okay, beloved. Okay. Thank you for clarifying. All right. And thank you for your contribution to the channel. Peace, love, and blessings. Okay. Leon said, pissed me off. Exactly. Okay, Twisted Logic says, but she said whatever she does for others will trickle down to black folk. Right. Whatever she does for others, right, will trickle down to us. Think about that. Now, why didn't she say whatever I do for black people specifically will trickle down to other people? She wasn't going to say that, but she's talking about doing stuff for other people. She has no problem saying that, and it'll trickle down to y'all. Y'all can get the crumbs after the rest of us are done eating. That's what it sounded like to me. Anita Harrell said Kamala the deflector. Exactly. Okay, Yisun said straps. Okay, so she's just a whole hot mess as far as I'm concerned. And I do not like this lady, and nobody's ever going to make me like her. It's nothing about her that I like, period. Did I make myself clear? I don't like this lady. All right. I really don't. But let's talk about what Representative Elisa Slotkin said about Kabami. She said Kabami's underwater in Michigan. Representative Elisa Slotkin warned donors last week that internal polling for her Senate campaign shows Vice President Kamala Harris is underwater in Michigan. Okay. This is what she says. And goes on to say that why it matters. Well, I'm so glad you asked. You see, because winning Michigan, Wisconsin, and Pennsylvania is Harris's simplest path to victory. Now, if former President Trump sweeps the Sun Belt, he'd only need to pick off one of those blue wall states to win the election. Now, 538's average polls has Harris up to about 2.4 points in Michigan. The latest New York Times Siena College poll has her up by just 1. Now, Michigan is also a top pick, a pickup opportunity for Senate Republicans with millions of dollars now flooding the race between Slotkin and her former rep, Mike Rogers. What she's saying, she says, well, I'm not feeling my best right now about where we are on Kamala Harris in a place like Michigan. Okay, this is what Slotkin said during a virtual fundraiser on Wednesday with Senator Cory Booker. Remember Cory Booker, how he almost cried for Ketanji Brown Jackson? Now, she says, we have her underwater in our polling. Spokespeople for Slotkin's campaign did not respond to requests for comment. And they said it's not unusual for campaigns to paint themselves as the polling underdog as a fundraising tactic. RCP's polling average has Slotkin up 48% to 43%, and the recent NYT Siena poll has her up by 5 points. Republicans have also raised alarm about Democrats' 2.1 money and advantage in the state, or 2-to-1, money advantage in the state. But there are some signs the Senate race could be tightening. Republican internal polling shows the candidates are statistically tied, according to a source familiar with the matter. And Senate races in Ruby Red, Ohio, and Montana have been getting more money and attention. But a Republican win in Michigan would be a major upset and virtually guarantee a GOP majority. Okay, so honey, you all stay tuned. Buckle up, because we're about to go on a whole ride, all right? So with that all being said, they also say that Harris is using a strategy rooted in civil rights activism. Okay, this is what Politico is saying. Liberals love it, conservatives hate it, but joy is a strategy rooted in decades of civil rights activism. Now, much has been said, written, and memed about all the ways in which joy has been a central part of Kamala Harris's presidential campaign, from her trademark laugh to the cat and dog TikToks, to the way she strides on stage beaming to Beyonce's power anthem, Freedom. This is all so ridiculous. I want you all to pay attention. What in the hell does any of this bullshit have to do with the election, or who's going to be sitting in the Oval Office, or about policies, economics, or anything of the like? What's it have to do with it? Okay, I don't give a damn about memes about Kabami or Trump, for that matter. I don't care about her laugh, her trademark laugh. Yeah, like a hyena. Okay, I don't care about her cat and dog TikToks or her coming out to Beyonce's anthem, Freedom. Okay, they're going to say, I think we should all find joy and have a sense of optimism about who we are as Americans and what we mean to each other. Okay, this is what she recently said at the Black journalist interview. You all remember the bullshit she spewed. Now, please pay attention. Most liberals thrill to it. Conservatives grouse to it, seeing the campaign's embrace of joy as proof that the vice president is a political lightweight. It's so manufactured. This is what they said on Fox News. The joy thing is an attempt to distract people from how bad things are. Yes! Thank you for saying it. It had to be said. That's exactly what it is. You see, this idiot Kamala, okay, though she's not mentally ill or dysfunctional, as Trump would say, she is insidiously obtuse, in my opinion, because she continues to spew the word salad, thinking that she's just running game on us all, that we're all foolish, and we don't realize exactly what she's doing, which is telling us nothing. Okay, which is always gaslighting and deflecting, never giving straightforward answers. And when she does, just says ignorant things. Okay, just says ignorant things and then brings up Trump. Now she is talking about joy and all of that. Now they're trying to make that a focal point of her campaign. That is absolutely to distract us from all of the bullshit that's going on and that has been going on for the past 3.5 years. Okay, and all of the things that she's not going to fix. All right. What is she really going to do about the border? What is she really going to do to secure these borders? What is she really going to do about these migrants out here committing all this crime in Colorado, Chicago, and other places? So I have questions. When is she going to stop giving them $13,000 plus in food stamps and $5,000 plus in cash with the EBT? Okay. I just have a whole lot of questions at the end of the day. All right. I would prefer Jill Stein than her. Absolutely. Okay. Karima Shabazz says she's not black. No, she absolutely isn't. Okay, she absolutely isn't. Okay, listen to support the arts. You're buying into right-wing talking points. Well, maybe I am. But at the end of the day, that just simply means, beloved, that their talking points are my talking points. That I am in unison with what they're saying about Kabami. It's just what it is. You know, I know everyone doesn't look upon it favorably, but at the end of the day, that's how I feel about Kabami, beloved. Okay? I'm not being politically influenced by them. This is just how I absolutely, beyond a shadow of a doubt, feel about Kabami. I don't like her. She's not black. She's not going to do anything. She doesn't care about black people. All she does is gaslight and deflect and gives a whole bunch of word salad and never answers anything directly. Where's the light? Where's the light? I didn't need anybody from the other side to tell me that. That's just what I assess. Okay? That's just what I assess about Kabami. So I'm sorry. That's just what it is. Now, with that being said, it's rather a distraction, okay? Joy is precisely the point. Joy and its companion fun are powerful political weapons, weapons that have been used successfully to undermine the ridiculous habits of wanton supremacy. Now, it's a strategy rooted in decades of civil rights activism in which joy, particularly black joy, please pay attention, is used as an instrument for political change. Joy can be much more transformative than lecturing or scolding, a lesson that Democrats are learning to embrace. It's also a tactic that I well know in my own family's civil rights organizing fund was used as a mobilizer, a way to laugh and be resilient in the face of outrages of structural racism. Whew, let me just tell you all something right there. What that all was about and bringing up ridiculous habits of white supremacy and talking about how it was used during the civil rights movement, that's just all to try to make us not focus on how bad it is really. And that's just all to try to make black people feel like we should be laughing and be so happy and so thrilled and carefree. And we should not be worried about a single thing. Okay, never mind that all Kabami keeps telling us about is her mom raising her in a middle-class family and how hard her mom worked, how her grandmother ran through the village with a bullhorn talking about reproductive health, and how she grew up in a middle-class neighborhood and she was bussed by Biden's nefarious policies. Okay, Biden was a whole segregationist. Okay, and she had to be bussed and she was that little 9-year-old girl. This is all she keeps telling us. Now, and I want you to pay attention because I literally can't make this up because here's what she says. Back in 1963, my mother and father arrived in the Ryman Auditorium's Grand Ole Opry in Nashville at a time when the state's Jim Crow laws required it to be segregated. They were dressed in a gown and tux respectively, driven in an old antique Rolls Royce by a white couple dressed as chauffeur and maid. The white couple were fellow activists and friends from the Unitarian Church. The chauffeur got out and opened the back door to escort my glamorous parents past the crowd at the entrance. He handed someone a $100 bill to park the car, the maid following close behind. Now, I'm sorry, I want y'all to pay attention to that because this is what really happened. This is what she really said. Now, I want you to think about it. Does she really know how to relate to us? Does she really know how to relate to us? And when she's talking about middle class, she's never talking about poor people. Okay. She's never talking about poor people. All right. I want you all to pay attention. Now, Goes on to say, if the gatekeepers had any thought of objecting to Black people entering, they were not prepared for this scene. My father moved swiftly, presenting his tickets and stating his case. This is my trusted chauffeur and butler, and oh, I too have a maid. My mother added. They had reframed the issue. Would the white servants be excluded? Of course not. An usher escorted them down to the front row, and a hush fell over the audience. On that night, Nashville's Jim Crow was subverted through bloodless audacity and mocking humor, a relentless practice my parents and others had used to successfully desegregate public accommodations in Huntsville, Alabama, the years before. Okay, I'm sorry, what? So what do you all have to say about this? I find it all very interesting. John and Joan Cashin, parents of the author, at their wedding reception in 1957, 4 years before they began their civil rights activism. So now they're trying to tell us stories. This wasn't Kabami's parents. This was the publisher's parents that they're talking about. But what the publisher is trying to do is the publisher's trying to make us feel the same, to make us relate to what Kabami is saying about joy, that we should be so thrilled and ecstatic, and that in fact, this has always been a focal point of the civil rights movement. Well, here's the thing. As far as I'm concerned, you cannot compare the civil rights movement to the things that are going on right now. They're just not the same, okay? They're not the same. And yes, Black people had joy back then, okay, because they were all working together and unified. They cared about one another. They did things to empower each other and to lift people up. Where's Kabami empowering any of us and lifting us up? This is the same woman who said she's not going to do anything for us, okay? And whatever she does for anybody else is going to trickle down to us. So we're supposed to just get the crumbs and sit back and wait with our hands out and our mouths open, hoping that we just catch a drip of whatever everybody else is getting. I just want you all to pay attention, okay? I want you all to pay attention at the end of the day. Okay, Odd Negroes official said, joy don't pay our bills. Exactly. Like, please sit down somewhere with this Kabami bullshit. Okay, so I'm just done with it at this point. Now, that being said, let's talk about this explosion at a lab. Hold on, let me pull this up. This explosion in Georgia. 90 residents sheltering a day after a chemical plant fire. Now, this is just an update from an hour ago. This is an update from an hour ago. Okay, so here's what they report. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. They say more than 90,000 residents in a county east of Atlanta were told to keep sheltered in place on Monday, and businesses were told to stay closed a day after a chemical plant fire. Okay, it sent a massive plume of dark smoke high into the sky that could be seen for miles. Air quality surveys done by the Environmental Protection Agency and the State Environmental Protection Division revealed the harmful irritant chlorine detected in the air from the fire at the biolab plant in Conyers, Georgia. The Rockdale County government said this in a statement early on Monday. They say for everyone sheltering in place, that's the best practice is to turn the air conditioning off and keep your windows and doors shut. The fire was brought under control around 4 p.m. Sunday, according to officials. Now, Interstate 20, which was shut down in both directions in the area Sunday, was reopened on Monday morning, according to officials. Some other roads in the county and county government offices were also closed. Now, people in the northern part of Rockdale County, north of Interstate 20, were ordered to evacuate on Sunday, and others were told to shelter in place. Sheriff's Office spokesperson Christine Nesbitt did not know the number of people evacuated, although it covered a large portion of the community of Conyers. Okay, the media reports said the number was at least 17,000. So the fire ignited when a sprinkler head malfunctioned around 5 a.m. on Sunday morning at the biolab plant in Conyers, Rockdale County. Rockdale County Fire Chief Marion McDaniel gave the information to reporters. They say the malfunction caused water to mix with a water reactive chemical, producing the plume of chemicals. Now, McDaniel said there were employees inside the plant, but no injuries have been reported. Okay, BioLab's website says that it is the swimming pool and spa water care division of Lawrenceville, Georgia, based KIK Consumer Products. Okay, the company also said there's no injuries reported. And their top priority is to keep the community safe. So that was a big deal here in Georgia on yesterday. Okay, that's right. Above all the drama, said bring your pets inside. Absolutely, because they don't need to be breathing that stuff in either. Okay, so let's talk about. Hold on. Oh, they got one more thing on Kabami. Hold on, let's talk about it. David Marcus said selfish Kamala Harris pours gasoline on Pittsburgh. Okay, so let's get into it because they said she's trying to throw gasoline on JD Vance. Our Negroes official said, I need to buy a gas mask. Those things are expensive. Oh, yeah, they definitely are. They absolutely are.
I think they paid for their food, though, so we'll cover it.
I appreciate
Yeah,
that.
thank you.
Thank you.
And keep the change. I'm sure there's going to be a fair amount in there, and no taxes on tips. That's one of the things we're trying to hammer.
Yeah, we're rooting for that. All right.
That's right. Good.
All right.
Good, ma'am.
Thank you.
Nice
Thank
to
you
meet
very much, and I appreciate the thoughts.
Okay, appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Bye, guys.
Now, did he want us to see him giving somebody a tip? Did he want us to see him giving somebody a tip? I have several questions. But hold on, because they said Kabami poured gasoline on it. Vice President Kamala Harris is fond of saying that Donald Trump is only in it for himself, not the American people. Hold on, beloveds. Okay, had a pop up. Okay, so goes on to say that she's used to saying that Trump is only in it for himself, not the American people. Well, this weekend, we saw in a picture perfect example of psychological projection Harris throwing a small business under the bus for her own supposed political gain. Oh, this is rich right here, okay? Please pay attention. On Saturday, GOP vice presidential nominee J.D. Vance tried to drop in on Pittsburgh's famed Primanti Brothers sandwich shop, okay, only to be barred entry. This came much to the disappointment of waiting voters, some of whom angrily recorded the events on their phones. So they wouldn't let him in. Vance not allowed to campaign Pittsburgh culinary landmark despite Harris at the event, at the same event. Hold on. This is all crazy. Okay, so hold on. Let me share this next clip. And this is all getting real petty as far as I'm concerned. It's all so childish. Could everybody please stay on topic? Hold on. Okay, here we go. Lights up, everyone, please. Like and share.
Retro fries. Like, I'm really digging the retro fries. Oh, yeah, that's a good picture.
Do we shout for guys? Oh my.
What do they got in the hood of the car?
I don't know,
There's like something sticking up. Oh, what's it called?
but do we shout surprise? Yes, you say yes. Oh, yay. Like everyone say yay when you are sick.
Everybody say simplify.
Marine. Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah, he's a Marine. He's a Marine. Yeah.
Okay.
What do you want to say?
Separate file. Wait. It's a riot. The manager went outside, told them they need to leave. They will call the police if he comes out. Unfortunately, he cannot come in. So what's going to happen is that they're going to take down our name, all our information, so the next time the kitchen crew's running out because everyone's canceling their orders. Everyone just canceled all the orders, and we're just paying for what we drank, and then everyone's leaving. But yes, unfortunately, Vance cannot come out of his car, cannot shake our hands, because Primanti's brothers does not want him in here whatsoever. So that is what's happening. There you go.
That we leave.
Yep.
We are now banned from Primanti brothers.
Yep. Terrible. So there's the VP. This is as close as we're going to get to him. Absolutely. Yep.
We paid for everybody's food. We gave them a nice tip. And of course, when I gave them a nice tip, I said, no taxes on tip. It's all right. Don't hold it against her. She just got a little nervous, but it's a great local business. Let's keep on supporting it. And most importantly, November 5th or before, go vote. Let's go win this thing.
This is all getting real nefarious and petty, okay? Please pay attention. And so here's what they say. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Now they say that they threatened to call the police on JD Vance. Did y'all hear that? Said they were going to call the police on him if he tried to come in there. So it goes on to say that on Saturday, GOP vice presidential nominee JD Vance tried to drop in on Pittsburgh's famed Primanti Brothers sandwich shop, only to be barred from entry. This came much to the disappointment of waiting voters, some of whom angrily recorded the events on their cell phones. They say ire was raised on the right. Threats of boycotts abounded, and Vance had cause to be a little bit miffed. Okay, and now they say, but Trump's running mate graciously forgave the snub. While greeting fans in the parking lot, paying for the crowd's meals with a generous tip, the store released a statement saying that he was welcome and that their employee had just been surprised by the cameras. No, she wasn't surprised by the cameras. She didn't want his arse in there. Now they're trying to walk it back because he paid for everybody's food and still shouted them out, basically. So they're saying that she was surprised by the cameras. Yeah, I don't believe that. Now, as the Bard once pointed out, all's well that ends well until Kamala Harris gets involved, and it's very telling. On Sunday, Harris's campaign posted a video on X showing Harris being welcomed as a hero in Primanti Brothers back in August. Now, the message was clear as it was as clear as it was ugly. Unlike Republicans, Democrats are welcome in polite society. So let's go to one side of the fact that Harris's appearance at the Steel City staple this summer was met by widespread mockery when it was discovered her campaign had kicked out actual diners and bussed in supporters to set a fraudulent scene. That's bad enough, they say. This is all crazy. Now, they say, but when Harris has wrought here, isn't just the disingenuous papering of the House at a political event. She's doing real harm to Primanti Brothers' effort to walk this situation back and make clear that everyone of every political stripe is welcome here. The point was that was the point that Vance was trying to make when he spoke after being denied entry, saying that the manager, don't hold it against her. She got a little nervous, but it's a great local business. That is the classy way to handle such a thing. It is what generations of Americans have expected from our leaders. Primanti Brothers confirmed that was what happened, and that really should have been the end of it. But no, not for Kamala Harris, the me girl around whom all things must revolve. They're really going in on Kabami. It didn't matter to Harris that the matter had been settled, that calls to boycott the restaurant were dying down, or that people were ready to move on to more serious matters. No, the vice president of the United States had to spike the football on Twitter or X over her AstroTurf event at the Greasy Spoon, even if it meant hurting the business. You see, Harris's winning is more important than any individual small business, and it was done in such an obnoxious way. Does Harris really want all of our businesses segregated by the politics of the customers? How ghastly. It brought me back to a conversation I had with a woman in San Francisco recently. She was a lifelong resident who had followed Harris's rise. And she says, likes up, everyone, please like and share. She says she doesn't seem to believe in much, and the word is she isn't very nice. That's what somebody said about Kabami. Now, this echoes similar voices in Pennsylvania who told me they just don't know who she is. Or commonly, I think she'll say anything to get elected. Well, I do too. Harris keeps insisting that she is the candidate who is selflessly in the race for the sake of the American people, while Trump only cares about Trump. But when has Harris ever done anything selflessly or not on the public dime? Okay. When in her career has she taken a back seat for the good people? Not that I can recall ever. She certainly isn't doing so by extending the controversy and misery surrounding Primanti's sandwich shop. So here's the thing. They can sit there and say that they really didn't have a problem with J.D. Vance coming in, but they clearly did. They welcomed Kabami back in August, and that's their right. It's their business. I don't think it's Kamala's fault that they didn't want J.D. Vance in there. That's just not her fault. As the, Fox News is trying to say. But what is interesting is the fact that it goes to show how divisive Kamala's supporters are. It just further goes to reiterate that, that's why we call them Blue MAGA, because they're doing the same divisive tactics, using the same efforts that Trump's people have been using. Okay, so where's the difference? All right, where is the difference? Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Now, let's talk about Mayor Eric Adams, okay, because he pled not guilty, and he's been visiting some church. So let's get into it. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. And then we're going to the next broadcast on the backup channel.
Seattle, New York Mayor Eric Adams pleading not guilty to federal corruption charges yesterday in a Manhattan court. His attorney doubling down on his client's innocence and distancing the mayor from an advisor whose phone was seized by the feds.
The entire body of evidence is one staffer that says there was a conversation. What you have not learned is that that staffer has lied. When that staffer was first interviewed, that staffer said that Mayor Adams knew nothing about this, he was not involved in this, and that he is innocent. They have that information.
So here to react is New York criminal defense attorney and constitutional expert Ken Belkin. Ken, thanks for being with us this morning. So let's go over the charges first. They read as follows. 1 count, conspiracy to commit wire fraud, federal program bribery, and to receive campaign contributions by foreign nationals. Another count of wire fraud, 2 counts of solicitation of a contribution by a foreign national. There are allegations he was an unregistered foreign agent. This ties back to the Turkish government. So we have 2 things going on, I think, we need to hold in our head. Serious allegations, influence on a politician by a foreign government, but yet not that salacious in terms of the details of what he is alleged to have received. Flight upgrades, discounted hotels.
Yeah, we've got allegedly a scheme that dates back to 2016, where the mayor, then Brooklyn Borough president, received about 11 upgrades to business class on flights to Turkey and other parts of the world, China and Paris, and he received a discount stay at the St. Regis in Istanbul. And what did he get for this 10-year scheme for upgrades? Well, the Turkish government may have gotten their consulate's fire inspection expedited. Seems a little shaky that a 10-year scheme would result in a fire inspection expedition.
And yet it's obviously, first of all, do you think that this indictment, and we know only so much. We know that there were some staffers involved, as we mentioned yesterday, a phone seized from one of his staffers. His response sounds a little bit like Donald Trump's response into some of these DOJ investigations. He feels like he has been targeted by a weaponized DOJ. And I think the implication is because of the stance he's taken on illegal immigration.
Well, look, let's be clear. He's the mayor of one of the largest cities, if not the largest in America. And he is the only prominent Democrat who has voiced criticism of the Biden-Harris administration's failed immigration policy. That's a fact. And look, you've got Donald Trump on camera a year ago saying, hey, look, this guy's critical. He may end up indicted. Well, Donald Trump's not a psychic as far as I know, but there is something going on. And people have raised the specter that maybe our prosecutors are being weaponized for political purposes. And it's certainly something every American should be concerned about.
Okay, so now with that all being said, I want you all to pay attention because I told you all long ago, months ago, that in fact they keep saying that Trump tries to weaponize the DOJ against his political opponents. But I told you Kabami does the same thing, her and Biden. I mean, why do you think that Tulsi Gabbard, who went in on her in 2019 when she first was trying to run for president, why do you think that woman's on a whole terror watch list? Okay, a woman who's a colonel, a lieutenant colonel in the military. Why is she on the watch list if that isn't weaponizing, okay, your power and your authority? And then, like Trump said, at the end of the day, Mayor Eric Adams has been indicted. Now, I'm not saying that Mayor Eric Adams didn't do the things of which he's accused because he more likely than not did. In my opinion, because he hangs out with shady people like Diddy and shady people like Bishop Lamar Whitehead. So maybe he did these things, but at the end of the day, he's likely being indicted because of his stance, like they said, of going against the illegal immigration, because they don't want anybody saying that. That makes the Biden-Harris presidential administration look bad. Okay. And they don't want any Democrats saying those things because Democrats stick together. Okay. So that's basically the gist of it as far as I'm concerned. Okay. Anyone who says something, okay, Sandra says facts, Queen. All right. So anyone, thank you, beloved. Anyone who goes against Kamala and says anything about the immigration issue, it's always going to be dismissed. They're trying so desperately to convince us, especially Black people, that the migrant issue is not a problem. And please think about how the way they don't want you saying illegal immigrants. They went from illegal immigrants to undocumented migrants. And now they want us to just call them migrants. They don't want us saying illegal aliens, illegal immigrants, or any of those things. And this is all for a reason, because they want us to be perfectly fine with the fact that these people are coming over here. Some of them are clearly criminals, felonious charges that they've been convicted of in their home countries and all of that. They want us to negate all of this. They want us to act like this stuff isn't going on with these gangs that are having problems with people in Colorado. They want us to ignore all of this and just talk about joy and Kamala's laughter and how she was raised and all of that. I just want y'all to pay attention, okay? But anyway, so Eric Adams may have gotten himself into this because of words that he spoke. Now, that just goes back to Diddy, because all of these things that Diddy's been accused of, as I've told you, probably a year ago, at the end, or almost a year ago, when Cassie's first suit came out, at the end of the day, I don't think any of this stuff would have come out on Diddy had Diddy not gone against Diageo. Had he not started saying that they were being racist, that they wouldn't promote his brand, and that he was suing them. When he filed that lawsuit, I think he absolutely sealed his own deal. Okay, so you can't say certain things about certain people or certain parties because the nefarious things just might happen to you. Okay, and now poor Mayor Adams has to go around visiting churches. All right, he's gone to a few houses of worship. All right, so I want you all to pay attention. And also, let's not forget how the Democrats use nothing but divide and conquer tactics. And then they also love to use fear mongering. Okay. They want to make us so afraid about Project 2025. At the end of the day, if our ancestors went through all these years of Jim Crow and they made it, we don't have to be worried about Project 2025 or anything else at the end of the day. And I'm not saying for you to vote for Trump. What I'm telling you is that the Democrats always try to make things out to be worse than they are. In every election cycle, they tell us the same thing. This is the most important election of our lives. This is what the Democrats say. So please pay attention. Likes up, everyone, please. Like and share.
The rounds at houses of worship, visiting at least 3 churches over the weekend. Fox 5's Lisette Nunez speaks with him in the Bronx about the mounting pressure.
While the attorneys handle the due process, I'm going to handle the management of the city.
Mayor Adams stopping at multiple houses of worship over the weekend after pleading not guilty to 5 federal charges, including bribery and solicitation of a contribution by a foreign national. Sunday, he spoke at Emmanuel Presbyterian Reformed Church in the Bronx amid calls for him to resign.
You hear the small number of loud people saying, well, he should step down. No, I'm going to step up. I'm not going to resign. I'm going to reign.
Prosecutors accuse Adams of accepting lavish travel upgrades and swanky hotel rooms from Turkish officials in exchange for donations to his mayoral campaign.
Now, like I said, he probably did some shady things, no doubt. But don't all politicians engage in shady practices? I mean, do we not hear and see this all the time? And let's not forget that I pointed out to you all last week that it's always the black mayors who get indicted. Okay? You mean to tell me none of these white mayors are doing anything suspect? You mean to tell me none of them are doing anything nefarious? Okay? It's always these black mayors. Okay? I just want you all to pay attention. Like I told you all, my cousin, who's the former mayor of Trenton, New Jersey, okay, they came after him. And then they also came after Kasim Reeves here in Atlanta. You know, they went after Kwame Kilpatrick. I mean, it's always black mayors. Okay, that's all I'm saying. Y'all don't find that suspicious and think it's all by design? I mean, all of these black mayors can't be nefarious, can they? And then the white ones are not doing anything wrong. They have no improprieties. They're not doing anything fraudulent or suspicious or immoral or unethical. Well, of course they are. Of course they are. Please pay attention. Okay? Please pay attention. Luna said, oh, now he's going to church. Give us a break. Give me a break. Yes, honey, they got Mayor Adams going to churches, honey, trying to get it all right. Okay? Trying to make it all make sense. Okay, so with that all been said, I'm out of here. Everyone, please like and share. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click the notification bell and click the word all so you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. Now, I just dropped the link to the backup channel. We're going to be on there. We've got to talk about this, the police, how they lied about the man that was shot at the subway. We all can see that they lied now that the body cam has been released. And also, we got to talk about Boosie Badass, what he said about his daughter, Ivy, and how she responded to it in a very heartfelt video where she looked as if she was about to cry. Okay. But anyway, we're going to get into all of that on the backup channel. So everyone, please like and share, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Each one teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. Do something productive, constructive, but never destructive. And always remember, beloveds, to keep the Most High first in your lives. Peace.
With that gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen. Why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunsa. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations, America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now. See a bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all at Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy. I just sit back and laugh while these haters get madder. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threats. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece. This time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen. Why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen. Why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got